You can get a lot at the Dollar Tree, but can we use only Dollar Tree items to put together a 72-hour emergency kit? Come along and let's find out. Hey guys, it's Jara with Wicked Prepared. Did you know that less than half of Americans have a 72-hour kit or disaster preparedness kit? And the biggest barrier to being prepared is money. So many people say they can't afford to buy preps, especially over these last few years when so many are struggling just to get by. So today I wanted to see if I could put together a 72-hour kit for a single person completely from the Dollar Tree. A 72-hour kit consists of the bare essentials to get through the first 3 days after a disaster or emergency. I'm designing my kit to be a shelter-in-place kit, assuming that you're stuck in your home without power and with no way to get supplies. But we will contain this kit in a portable container, just in case you need to grab and go. It can also serve as a 72-hour evacuation kit. The basic areas that I want to cover in my kit are food and water, fire and cooking, light, communication, medical and first aid, hygiene, and basic gear and supplies. So let's head over to Dollar Tree and see what we can find. The first thing we want to pick up is water. Water is the most important item in pretty much any emergency scenario. Dollar Tree has these gallon jugs of water, so this is what I'm going to grab. The bare minimum amount of water to store for emergencies is 1 gallon per person per day. So I'm going to grab 3 of these jugs. Remember, I'm putting together a kit for 1 person for 3 days, but you can scale this up if you want to prepare for more than 1 person. I'm also going to grab a pack of these electrolyte drink mixes, just in case for extra hydration and to add some flavor to the water, which it sometimes needs after being stored. After water, we want to put together a 3-day supply of shelf-stable food. I'm going to be looking for mostly food that's ready to eat, that doesn't need water and doesn't need to be cooked. It can either just be eaten as is or heat and eat. The other couple of criteria that I'm going to be looking for are shelf life. I'm going to try to get things with best by dates that are next year or later. Of course, most things are going to last well past those dates, and it's always a good idea to rotate through these kind of kits once or twice a year to make sure they stay fresh and relevant. But we still need to be mindful of shelf life. Canned goods are going to be best for this because they last practically forever. The second thing I'm going to be looking at is calories and a couple of other nutritional markers like protein. If this is all we'll have to eat, we want to make sure that it's going to be enough to sustain us. So 3 meals a day for 3 days. For breakfast, there aren't a ton of options here, so I'm just going to grab this 1 box of instant oatmeal. There's 6 packets in here, so that means I can do 2 packets a meal for 3 breakfasts. This does require water, and it really should be heated, but it could be done cold soak style if needed. Because I'm doing this for 1 person, I don't want to do cereal because I would not finish a whole quart of milk in 1 sitting. But if you're scaling this up for a family, cereal might be a good choice. I'm also going to grab these raisins to add to the oatmeal for a little extra nutrition. Another option might be granola bars. I am going to grab a box of these while I'm right here to add as an additional snack option. These chewy oat and honey have the furthest out dates. And keep in mind that doesn't necessarily mean that they have a longer shelf life than the other bars. It may just mean that they haven't been sitting on the shelf as long as some of the other ones. But we want to get the freshest stuff that we can. I'm also going to grab this little jar of honey peanut butter. This is really yummy, and it's going to be another snack option for adding some extra calories and protein. I like to eat just a spoonful right out of the jar, but it could also be spread on one of those granola bars. It could be stirred into the oatmeal. And if you couldn't heat water for the oatmeal, you could mix some of the peanut butter and the oatmeal together and make little protein bites. Peanut butter is a great concentrated source of calories. Just this 1 jar is going to add over 1,500 calories and 50 grams of protein, over 50 grams of protein to this kit. For another easy breakfast option, I did find these instant breakfast shakes. These could be a breakfast on their own or an add-on for extra calories, protein, and vitamins. And you know, I can't do mornings without coffee. I was hoping to find the individual stick packs of instant coffee that they sometimes have, but no such luck. So I picked up a jar of instant coffee and a powdered creamer because, well, it's better than nothing. Moving on to lunches, I really like these little lunch kits that have the crackers and some kind of chicken or tuna salad all together in them. They aren't a ton of food, but for a big eater, you could grab 2 of them or supplement with additional snacks. This everything bagel flavor one must be new, and this really caught my eye because it looks really good, but I did end up going with the classic tuna salad because it had the highest calorie count. Another option if you want a little more control is to put together your own kits like this. I like to get these cracker packs because they're packaged in individual servings and they do fit the shelf life bill with dates into next year. There's so many options that you can pair with them, from tuna in all different flavors to chicken salad, salmon, and even these chicken and ham spreads. I'm going to go with the ham, both for something different and because of the calorie count. For my third day's lunch, these single serving soup cups look good. It looks like a hearty meal, and they come with the crackers, but I ended up going with the same soup in a can because I'll get a little more food in the can than the cup, but more importantly, I could heat it right in the can if I needed to. The cup of soup is plastic and would have to be transferred into a pot to heat. Now remember, these meals certainly aren't going to be the healthiest, but remember, it's survival and it's Dollar Tree. So it's not going to be health food, but it will keep you from starving to death, and that's our goal. I do want to include some fruit and veggie with these though, so I'm going to grab some applesauce and fruit cups. These packs do have dates into next year, but keep in mind, these plastic containers are not as good as metal cans. They can be compromised a lot more easily, and if the seal's broken, they're done for. So I'm going to be super careful putting these into my kit, and I'm going to make sure that they get rotated often. If you are scaling this up for more than one person, then definitely go with the cans of fruit. One more thing I found, which I've never seen before, were these fruit smoothie drinks. They list real fruit puree in the ingredients, and they do have a few grams of fiber, so I thought this was worth trying. Okay, now for suppers. Remember, I do want to go with items that don't need water or cooking, just heating, and if needed, you could just open them up and eat them as is at room temperature. I like the cans of chicken a la king here at Dollar Tree, and they also have the pouches of pre-cooked rice that I can have the chicken over top of. Next, I checked out the canned pastas, like these Chef Boyardees. Out of all of the Chef Boyardee, the beefaroni was the highest calorie count, but then I found these SpaghettiOs with meatballs, and it is a slightly bigger can, so it has more calories. A hungry adult could definitely eat this whole can. For my third supper, I was kind of looking at these beanie weenies, but these cans are so small, so what I decided to do instead was pick up this can of baked beans and go grab a can of Vienna Bites to serve as the hot dogs. And then I can have a real New England supper of beans and hot dogs, or pretty close anyways. Like with the lunches, I am adding a few of these individual servings of vegetables for just a little extra nutrition. But also, like the fruit cups, be very careful if you use these plastic containers and upgrade to larger cans if you're prepping for a family. Now I'm just going to add a few snacks to make sure that we get enough calories into our daily meals. And let's be honest, there can also be some boredom, a bit of a boredom factor in a shelter-in-place situation sometimes. So snacks are good. I grabbed a few packs of turkey jerky and a couple of meat sticks after considering the best by dates, calories, and protein content. These ended up being the best choice. You do have to be careful with these and actually many different types of snack foods because they can be really thirst-inducing. I also picked up a bag of yogurt-covered cranberries and a bag of trail mix. And got a little bit of candy. Don't overlook candy. It can be a source of calories and a source of comfort, which can really be very much needed during an emergency. I went with peanut butter cups because they had the longest best by dates and the highest protein count of the candies that I looked at. I also decided to check out Dollar Tree's freeze-dried fruit for a little different variety and nutrition in my snacks. It's definitely a far cry from the freeze-dried food we're used to. These actually have added sugar and are a product of China. Ugh. But once again, that's Dollar Tree survival for you. I compared the different varieties and they were all pretty similar, but I ended up going with the mixed fruit because of the extra iron in that one. One last thing to consider, most of the canned food I picked up has pop tops, but not all of it. So I can't forget a manual can opener to throw in my kit, along with some disposable plates and dishes and silverware, cups and things like that. Now that we have our food, what are we going to do about cooking it? You are not going to find a camp stove at Dollar Tree anytime soon, but they do have this hidden gem over in the party section, and it's this canned heat alcohol gel fuel. You may not be able to do any real cooking with this stuff, but you can heat things, which is really all we need to do. You can even use a bread pan and a cooling rack from the kitchen section of Dollar Tree for a makeshift stove. Use a pan from your kitchen, or in a pinch, you can use a disposable foil pan from Dollar Tree as well. I did a little demonstration just to show you how this would work, and I put 2 cups of water into a pan. I lit the alcohol fuel. You can see, you can barely see the flame, but here you can see it's just really hard to see. It is burning. I put my water on and it started at below 70 degrees. After 10 minutes, it was heated up to about 85 degrees. I let it go 5 more minutes, and after 15 minutes, it was at about 110 degrees. And I did stick my finger in this, and it's plenty warm. Like, that would be a good temperature for me to eat food at. It's not piping hot. I didn't let it go past 15 minutes. I just stopped at that point, but it would have continued to get hotter. And to put out the little alcohol burners, all you do is put the lid right over, put the lid back on, and it smothers the flame out. Each one of these cans of fuel says that it burns for about 2 hours. I use 2 at a time to be able to heat a little bit faster, so I'm going to include 4 of these in my kit. Of course, I also picked up some matches. We'll need matches to light the alcohol gel fuel, as well as anything else we might want to light, like a campfire or some candles. I put together a little fire starting kit. I grabbed a lighter, which I found up at the checkout area, the matches, which I found in the kitchen section. I also found some cotton pads in the beauty section and a little tub of petroleum jelly in the baby area. And I was able to include all these things. The petroleum jelly can go onto the cotton pads to create a fire starter, and then we've also got the matches and the lighters. I put these all together in a sandwich container because this has a gasket, and so it has a watertight seal, so it can keep everything dry and contained. The next thing I wanted to make sure I had covered in my 72-hour kit was light. If the power's out, you're going to want to make sure you have light. I skipped by the candles because for my home personally, with kids and pets and all of the things that we have, I don't like to have a whole lot of open flame. So I went straight over to where they have flashlights in Dollar Tree. And at first I was disappointed looking over their selection of flashlights because I really like their headlamps and I didn't see any. So I did grab this small flashlight that says it has 100 lumens, super bright. But luckily, when I looked on a little bit, I did find the headlamps. They were just down the aisle a little bit. So I also grabbed a headlamp. I'm going to include them both in my kit, but I think you would be fine with just the headlamp. Using a headlamp is great because it gives you the use of your hands while you also have light to see. The flashlights and headlamps at Dollar Tree don't come with batteries included, so I did pick up some batteries to use for these and to have a few extra in case we needed them for any other gear that we already have. I also grabbed a package of glow sticks from the toy department as well. The one area where I really struck out at Dollar Tree for my 72-hour kit was communications. Ideally, every 72-hour kit should have some sort of radio or emergency radio, and I didn't find anything like that at my Dollar Tree. You also want something to keep your cell phone charged in the event that cell phone towers are still working. I thought where my Dollar Tree now has the plus section with items up to $5, I might find a portable cell phone charger, but I didn't. Let me know if you've ever found anything like that at your Dollar Tree. The one thing I did find for communication is a very simple mirror in the makeup section that could be used for a signal mirror. You also might want to pick up some brightly colored fabric that could be used to signal for help if you're trapped in your home after a storm or disaster. I found a few things that might fit the bill, but keep an eye out because sometimes Dollar Tree sells those brightly colored orange emergency vests. For my medical and first aid kit, I found some pretty awesome stuff at Dollar Tree. I picked up some basic over-the-counter meds like pain relievers of different sorts, laxative, anti-diarrheal medication, day and night cold medicine. I also grabbed some allergy medicine thinking I was grabbing Benadryl, but when I got home I realized that it's the wrong kind, so I'm going to be replacing this with some Benadryl. I took all the medications out of their boxes for the sake of space and just included the dosing instructions from the package. I found a wonderful wound care set at Dollar Tree. This was a really great buy for $1.25. It's full of all sorts of different sizes of gauze pads and rolls and tape. I also picked up a few boxes of different types of smaller Band-Aids and some liquid skin to include. And of course, I also got a tube of antibiotic ointment. I also threw in some alcohol prep pads. Dollar Tree had this simple thermometer, which was a great addition to my first aid kit. I also added a manicure set that has some small scissors and tweezers that could come in handy. I also added a nasal inhaler for colds. I added some rolled bandages, both self-adhesive and an ACE type of bandage. I threw in some gloves, some disposable gloves, and a bottle of hand sanitizer. And I also added some cough drops. I had this cute pink box that I got at Dollar Tree on a past trip, and so I put everything inside of it to make a nice portable first aid kit. For hygiene items, I kept it pretty simple. I did pick up a toothbrush and toothpaste set, and I got a pack of these disposable body washcloths. I really like getting these at Dollar Tree. This is a different brand than what I've gotten before, but it's the same idea. They're very big and very strong, you know, disposable, basically big wipes for your body. So that would be good for 3 days worth of a grid down emergency. I also got a pack of baby wipes, and I picked baby wipes because they're for babies, so I know they're gentle. So you could use these to wipe your tush, you could use these to wipe your face, you could use these to wipe any sensitive areas that you needed to wipe and know that it would be okay. They're fragrance free, and of course, being for babies, I'm sure they're non-toxic, so if you needed to use them to wipe some dishes clean or something, that would be okay. I also picked up a little bottle of lotion and a chapstick because let's face it, dry skin and chapped lips are the worst. And then for environmental cleaning, cleaning your space, cleaning your area, I did pick up a pack of disinfecting wipes, and I also grabbed a roll of paper towels. I also have the extra hand sanitizer from the 2-pack that I picked up. I put one in the first aid kit, and I've got one to keep with my hygiene supplies, and I also got a box of garbage bags. Garbage bags are definitely important to have, not only for cleanliness and containing waste, but they could also be good for lots of other things. They could be good for using as an emergency poncho or keeping some of your gear dry. They could be stuffed with something like leaves or dirty clothing or something and make a little pillow or cushion or a small mattress out of. You could also use them to line a bucket or a toilet bowl or something for an emergency toilet. All sorts of uses for garbage bags. For tools and gear, I went to the hardware section of the Dollar Tree. And of course, I picked up a length of rope, and I also grabbed some duct tape and some electrical tape. Now, typically you might use your duct tape to seal off an area if you need to shelter in place and you need to keep something harmful out of the room, like some radiation or some gases or something like that. So usually it's recommended to have some plastic sheeting in your emergency kit. But the plastic sheeting they sell at Dollar Tree is very thin and it's nowhere near sufficient for what you would need. So I just bypassed that. But later on I did find in the bathroom aisle, I found some clear plastic shower curtain liners that are a lot thicker and that actually might do the trick. So I did pick up one of those, and you could pick up as many of those as you needed to seal off doors, windows, air vents, anything you might need to seal off. I also picked up a few tools. I found a pair of pliers that could be important for turning off utilities or for fiddling with any of your emergency gear and things like that. I found a folding knife. It's actually pretty sharp, but you can tell it's not very good quality. And I had a heck of a time figuring out how to get it to fold, but I did finally figure it out. I also picked up a pair of scissors, and I got those in the office supplies department, but that's going to be an important tool as well. I also grabbed a pair of work gloves. We actually kind of like these work gloves that we get at Dollar Tree. These are the latex coated ones. These are not bad. A couple of other items I picked up that would go into the gear category are some hand warmers, which would come in really handy if this was an emergency during the winter months. And I also found emergency ponchos, so I picked up an emergency poncho. And then I found a little toolbox for $1.25. It's not the most attractive looking or biggest or strongest toolbox, but I was able to fit a lot of these tools and supplies inside of it. So I put in the work gloves and the 2 rolls of tape. I put in the knife and the pliers and the scissors. I put in my flashlight, my headlamp, extra batteries, my light sticks. I also added the hand warmers that I found, as well as the emergency poncho, and I threw in the clear plastic shower curtain, and I was able to fit that all inside of this little toolbox. One last thing to remember, if you have pets or babies in your household, head over to the pet and baby sections of the store and pick up what you might need for those members of your family. There's quite a bit in the pet section, although the ingredients might be a little bit questionable. For babies, I didn't find a whole lot. It's been years since I shopped for babies, but you used to be able to get a few diapers in the Dollar Tree, and I wasn't able to find diapers at any of the Dollar Trees that I've looked at lately. The last thing I did at Dollar Tree was head to the $5 section and pick up this tote. This way we can put everything into the tote and make it a grab-and-go 72-hour kit. They didn't have much to choose from here at Dollar Tree, but you could use any container that you already have laying around at home. But will it all fit? Let's find out. That's what I came up with for my 72-hour kit from Dollar Tree. What do you think about it? What would you add or change? Just a couple of reminders about Dollar Tree shopping. Dollar Tree does have some good bargains, but just because it's at Dollar Tree doesn't mean it's the best deal out there. Some things are cheaper at other stores. Just something to keep in mind. Also, not every Dollar Tree has the same items, and even the same Dollar Tree location won't always have the same things. This is their slogan, grab it before it's gone, and it's really good advice because you never know if something will be there when you go back. So you may not find all the same things that I use today, but hopefully you can take the ideas and kind of adapt them. If you're lucky enough to have multiple Dollar Trees near you, check them all, pick up a few things whenever you find them and can afford them. Before you know it, you'll have a 72-hour kit. If you already have a kit, this could be a good project to put together for someone else who could use it. I hope this was helpful to someone out there. If you made it all the way to the end of the video, leave me an hourglass emoji down in the comments. And check out this video next to see some emergency meals I made with all Dollar Tree ingredients. I'm Jara with Wicked Prepared. Survive today, thrive tomorrow. We'll see you next time.